How are you doing? You know what day it is. What? February? What are you talking about? It's September. September 21st today. Are you sure you slept enough? I don't think you're doing too well, are you? It's okay. You can rest. It doesn't matter if you're tired. You can rest more. I can make you food and take care of you. It'll be okay. It doesn't matter if you don't want to go anywhere today. Because today, I think should be reserved just for you. Don't you think so? You can go back to sleep. I won't wake you up. You won't have to wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Bro, are you really sleeping in my class? This is what you look like. This is what you look like right now. You really sleeping in my class. Alright. So, as I was saying, oh no. We are discussing Monster Girls. So, we left off on the mermaid. Mermaids are a class of monster girls that are very rare to find in the modern day. As a result, you won't really find them near humans. There are some mermaids that do go on land, but this is almost rare, and you will never find them in person unless they choose to come to you. So, mermaids are not a very good, I'd say their compatibility is very low just because of the physical limitations of their abilities to be outside water, just like fish. The physiology of mermaids is very fish like. They don't have natural births as humans do, they are not mammals at all. They have some kind of strange, very. Oh no. They have a very. Don't worry about it. They have a very strange physiology. So, first of all, mermaids lay eggs, as you may know. But eggs are not the human eggs that you might come to know, but rather the kind of fish eggs. So these, you should not. Normal mammalian sexual intercourse is not a thing with mermaids, so please do not attempt that. You will hurt them. You will have to do other things with that. Okay, next slide. Lamia. Lamia, very similar to fish in that they also have just one opening, that is the cloaca, and with cloaca they are exit only. Again, a lot of these monster girls have certain physiologies that do resemble their counterparts, their animalistic counterparts. Lamia, yes, very cool. Thank you for your input, Mori. Lamia are very likely to be very clingy to you just because of their physical needs. And by physical needs, I mean they will run out of warmth. So, as a result of that, you will have to either keep them in a very warm environment or you will have to hug them excessively, to say the least. with lamias, they have a very difficult time transporting themselves, so you will have to assist them quite a lot, actually. So the main thing here with lamia is their cold-bloodedness. So you gotta keep them warm, or else they will literally die if you don't hug them. Next is the slime girls. Slime girls are very diverse in their race. So you have slime girls that are water based, you have slime girls that are oil based, and so on. You might even have some slime girls that are acid based, and these are especially dangerous. So these up here, as you can see, these are red slimes. Red slimes are particularly corrosive, so you should not touch them. Slimes such as these have the ability to shape their clothes. So what you may perceive as clothes are not actually clothes, but rather their skin or fluids, so to speak. So this skin here is some kind of viscous whatever it's based on their whatever they're based on. So it could be made out of oil, it could be made out of water, or any other type of liquid. In the case of blue slimes are water based, and you should not. They're not very compatible with salt. They don't really like salt because they will dehydrate them. So please do not give water based slimes, blue slimes, any salty foods. They will hate it. As for yellow slimes are more oil based. They are not unlike the blue slimes, but they have different physical properties to them. As for these red slimes can be composed of lots of different, not exactly toxins, but acids, but you also do have toxic slimes as well. The properties between slimes that are composed of toxins and acids are very, very similar. But for the purposes of this course, I will not be going into the different types, the different subtypes of toxins and acidic slimes. Just the three that you need to know for the exam are the water-based slimes, the oil-based slimes, and the acid-based slimes. So these are blue slimes, yellow slimes, as well as the, what is this third one called again? The red slimes here up on the board. Gamers can't have slime girls. Well, oh, cause salt. That's a very great comment there. Unless you have no salt. Okay, next girl we have is the Batgirl. Batgirls, there are a lot of different types of bats, just like in real life. Like you have the vampire bat, which is the type of girl to literally kill you. So the vampire Batgirl is one of the more dangerous girls because they will try to stab you, if not bite you, or whatever else it is they want to do in order to drink your blood, because that's what sustains them. You also have different other types of bats that are not as violent, but I believe that this is the type that you should be looking out for just because they are extremely dangerous. If it is not one that looks like this, then you should be in the clear because these tend to be rather unhinged and can be violent. The next one that we have is the Spider Girl. So much like the other ones I've presented before, Spider Girls are almost as dangerous, if not more dangerous, than the other Monster Girls that I've presented here before. So with Spider Girls, the vast majority of them are in fact carnivorous, which means if you're familiar with Black Widow spiders, then you already know. Same goes for praying mantis girls. Yeah, exact same. For the purposes of the exam, you don't have to know praying mantis girls, but the exact same thing applies here, wherein they will try to eat you after you copulate. So highly not recommended to search for spider girls at your own risk. If you want to do that, you're more than welcome to, but your safety is not guaranteed. Very much like the Batgirl here, where they will do several things, but you don't need to know the details. All you need to know for this class is that these are dangerous. Possibly most dangerous ones on this list, actually. Okay, so the next that I have is the Rat Girl. Rat Girls, I'd say, are one of the better ones to seek out if you're interested in Monster Girls, because they have the highest compatibility with humans. From this list, I'd say that's mostly just because of their mammalian characteristics. So rats are mammals, humans are mammals, so you have a very high affinity rate there. If you are more of an old school person and you'd like to have a large family, then rats are ideal for this, as they can have up to 6 pups in a litter, possibly even more, because they do in fact have 2 uteruses. So if you want large families, then I'll be my guest. Go ahead. This is your ideal. If you do not want large families, this is not the girl for you. Question so far. Whatever I cover today, that's what's going to be on Thursday's quiz. However, anything that's not up on the slides, as well as the ones that I posted online, anything that's not covered on those slides are not going to be on the exam. Okay. Remember that your assignment is due on Friday. That is to write a paper on your favorite. What did I walk into? This is Calculus 4? No, this isn't Calculus 4. Well, the room before us was in fact calculus, but I couldn't find a way to turn off the projector, so that's why that's back there. We do have some calculus equations back here, but I'm technologically inept, so I just left it up there, so don't worry about that. Will you provide the formulas needed on the quiz? Yeah, any and all formulas in this class will be provided to you. You will not have to memorize because that's not necessary and that's not realistic at all for you to have these things memorized when you have what pocket computers in your in your bags, in your pockets, in your back pocket, in your jeans, in your coats. It's not realistic for anyone to have anything memorized really in this stage. So you don't need to have pi memorized. You don't need to have what was it? Hardy-Weinberg equation. You already need to have that memorized. I will provide that on the quiz. Okay, so next girl is the rabbits. So rabbit girls, they are very well known for hopping around. So as a result of this, they will have very well muscularly defined. This mainly applies to wild hares. This does not apply to domestic rabbits. So you may see some rabbits that may seem really frail, not really eating too much, not really doing a whole lot except for sleeping and just being useless all day. Those are the domesticated rabbits. So these are wild hares. These are the wild ones that you see out in the field. So these are the ones that will have this muscular definition on their body. I want to say their largest asset is probably going to be their legs, just because they are very defensive. Whenever something approaches, they have been known to kick in the face. You might have seen a few videos of this online, on YouTube, for example, where it's this rabbit that's jumping up and it kicks the predator in the face. So, rabbits, hares, if they are wild, they will have these muscular, very defined muscles. I mean, is it possible to satiate them without your heart giving out? Well, very much like the rats, very much like rat girls and mice girls. Um, these are also mammals. It kind of depends on the girl to girl, but I would say you're probably gonna be fine. Maybe I don't guarantee anything, but you might probably be fine if if you want a large family. This is these two species are the go-tos. Any questions on rabbits? Rabbits. So everything that I've covered so far, out of all of these, the mammals are going to be the ones with the most emphasis on the exam. This is not up to me. This is the curriculum that was given to me by the state because the state determines what we teach. Very cool. Thank you, state. Very cool. So, mammals are going to be the focus of this class, even though they're not my specific even though they're not my specific favorite. Mammals are okay. They're very prevalent. A lot of studies are done on mammals, even though I think that it's perfectly valid to be able to study any other type of girl. Doesn't even have to be human like, such as the Alrona. Alrona. So this one's a little bit tricky to pronounce, but doesn't really matter. Pronunciation doesn't matter. As long as you can recognize it, you don't have to spell it correctly. I will know what you mean if you're trying to spell it. So this is spelled Alraune. Go ahead and feel free to take notes on that. So Alrona, these are plant girls. These are very unlike any of the monsters girls that we've covered up to this point. We do not have a whole lot of information, and this is mostly because the state would prefer to study mammals because of some reason that I don't understand, even though these lesser known beings should also have just as equal a focus, in my opinion, because why shouldn't they? Why should these be any less studied than any of the other ones? Especially when plant girls have a lot of medicinal properties. There's been some, I believe it's the peyote girl. That's right, the peyote girl. Those are very very friendly, and they secrete substances that do in fact make people kind of weird with to put it the in a nice way. These peyote girls are actually very ritualistic in a sense. So with these peyote girls, they have this traditional dance that they do, and there's an entire ritual associated with it that's very I don't know if I can say graphic, but that's as far as you need to know for that. Um, for the purposes of this lecture, all you need to know is that Alrune are understudied and they have special properties depending on the different ones. Will you be my Valentine? What? What are you talking about? You mean you don't have. Are you dreaming? Are you awake? I told you. Are you still sleeping? Okay, because I heard you talking in your sleep about this person. I don't know who it is, but you were being weird in your sleep. I think you should lay off on the candy, my bro. You should probably stop eating so much candy. It's going to your brain. Too much sugar, man. Okay, so Alderina, they are understudied. They have a lot of different properties, such as their pollen. Their pollen can be harvested for the purposes of medicine and study on other things. Okay, next one is, I believe we're coming up to the end here. It has been 40 minutes. 40 minutes? 50 minutes? I can't tell. I can't remember anymore. Um, I often lose track of time in my whenever I'm teaching because it goes by it goes by super quick. Okay, next is Dolphin Girls. Out of all the mammalian girls so far, I would say that dolphins are the I don't want to say most dangerous, but they are questionable to say the least. Just because you know of real dolphins and what they do, real dolphins. Well, you can look that up. You can look up the dolphin house experiment. That was certainly one of the experiments of all time that led to one of the very first crosses. I should, if you can. Okay, this goes a little bit into ethics, but this is not an ethics course, so you can search that dolphin house experiment, and that was the first dolphin girl. But they don't want me to teach that, so pretend you didn't hear that. I could probably get fired for that. Don't worry about it. Anyways, so Dolphin Girls, we have a pair of, you can tell us, no, no, I'm not even supposed to be covering Dolphin Girls. Dolphin Girls are not on the curriculum, but I feel like you should know about the history of Monster Girls, because if no one ever teaches about the history of Monster Girls, then we are doomed to repeat the past. And it's like you got a million people that died back in 1940, and if you ask me, I really think they're covering something up, but they don't want us to know about that. But it always goes back to the state and what they want us to teach and what they don't want us to teach. But it's whatever. I'm here. 40 million. Okay, so honestly, the statistics were never released. We just don't know the true extent of what actually happened during that war. But all we know is that there was this figure. This figure had named Alice something. I don't even remember anymore, but Alice had something to do with it. I don't remember the details because it's all been covered up and all the documents are buried, and I don't even know. This is something that I've been trying to look into. I've been trying to look into that, and if only they would pay for the research that I do into that, but no, it's not funded because it didn't exist. Yeah, okay, sure. Anyways, they're coming to get me. What do you mean they're coming to get me? No, it's fine. Anyways, okay, how much? No. I don't know. I don't hear anything. Okay, really quick before I have to go check something. We got to get through a few more. I might get replaced. Okay, so you got some. These are the ungulates. So very briefly, you got a lot of different ruminants here. So this is one of them. You got ox girls. You have cow girls. There are no bulls, however, because bulls are male. Those are considered the minotaurs. I feel like I should push for gender equality here because there's a lot of Monster Girl coverage, but there's not a lot of Monster Guy coverage just in general. And that's another one of the things that the state wants us to not talk about is Monster Guys, just because. Anyways, that's not important. That's not important. So, so these are I don't remember. I believe these are cowgirls, but these are a certain kind of cowgirl. Maybe they might be oxen. They might be oxen. I'm not entirely sure. This is one that I haven't studied entirely. I'm more focused on. So what I study is it's coming up. I believe it's the next one, but you should have just general knowledge of every classification here. So these are the ones that are, well, just all ruminants, right? In general, ruminants have been domesticated. So this is an example of one of the monster girls that has been domesticated, not unlike the previous ones. One of the other ones was the rabbit girls, I think. So some rabbit girls have been domesticated, and there's been a lot of bird girls too that have been domesticated. So I'll talk about that next. So with bird girls, the natural ancestral form, basal form, I should say, the basal form of bird girls is the very aerodynamic, very sleek form. But in recent years, well, recent years I say, but it's been quite a while actually since bird girls have been domesticated for private use. And by private use, I don't mean anything perverted. I see you laughing back there. I mean things like housework. So another thing is housework. So we got housework as well as mailing. We do have some bird girls working for the mail service. So because it's a lot faster and cheaper than using airplanes and a lot of different, what was it called? Cars? Cars. I don't. So these would be the pigeon girls classification that are used for mail delivery service in some locations, but not every single location has incorporated it into their system as of yet. Although I do believe, as long as they're paid, I think it should be fine, and not paid peanuts like some people. And some people really underestimate. I'd rather they really underestimate these birds, especially. Would you consider bird girls dinosaur adjacent? Cochlea, cochlea, like the ear thing. I would consider them adjacent. We no longer have any evidence that ancient lineages were able to fly because those wouldn't really be considered dinosaurs, I don't think. Unless, well, now that you mention it, the current bird girls, rather, I should say, are derivatives of monsters, rather, not monsters, dinosaurs. I don't think I had enough coffee. The dinosaur girls that were historically present in the past, so you have Archaeopteryx, and that's when the first dinosaur girl was essentially evolving from the ancestral form. Oh, you mean the what was it called? So cochlea is actually the little spiral thing that's in your ear, and that is used for transmitting for transmitting sound to your nerves into auditory signals. That's what the cochlea is actually. But you're thinking of the cloaca. That's something that I've discussed before. If you had been paying attention, so just like many of the other ones in this list, the bird girls here do have a cloaca. So this includes snakes. So snakes, or rather not snakes. I'm sorry. That's a very old term. I think it's considered a slur in some cases, but you didn't hear that from me. I didn't say that. I meant to say lamia. Lamia is what I'm trying to say. So lamia actually are the ones that have this cloaca as well as birds. So because these two are very related in terms of that at one point they were both reptile girls, right? So they are related in that sense. So this is why they both have this and shared ancestral trait, and this is known as a snapomorphy, I believe. But you don't have to know that. That's more getting into evolution of Monster Girls. This is just 102. This is just like the first day of 102, you know. But if you do decide to take evolution of Monster Girls, then I will cover that. That is going to be offered in the fall semester. So that's actually what was it? 110, right? I think that's 110. Monster Girl 110. So that's 110. I might teach that in the fall. It's not because um I think I might have said too much. So they might not consider continuing my contract. They might kill my contract right today even, but if you ever do want to know about the evolution of Monster Girls, that's 110. As for the history of Monster Girls, I really do not recommend that class just because I have dropped in on it and it's all propaganda that's in there. You don't want to take that class. they don't tell you about the war. They don't tell you about the experiments with the monster girls, and they never tell you about the dolphin house. They don't tell you about the what was the other one? The one with the Batgirl. There was this incident back in what was it 1784 where there was this giant mass and swarm of Batgirls in I think it was Argentina. It was either Argentina or Costa Rica, but there was something that happened there as well. But it's been covered up too. All the documents have been burned, and because of the government, we only have one thing that is in charge of all the Monster Girl stuff, and they have withheld a lot of information from us, but the information is out there. The truth is out there as long as you believe it's out there. This is my life's goal is to uncover what it is that they're trying to hide from us. Because all we want, all we want in life, in this field anyways, is to coexist with these creatures sometimes if that's possible because with the spider girls and the insect girls a lot of time, especially the insect girls, a lot of the insect girls are not very too friendly. Some of the plant girls as well, the carnivorous plants, those you got the pitcher plant girl, the Venus flytrap girl, that one's especially very 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 dangerous. They have the appearance of a succubus and they lure you in with their sweet smell. You don't even have to imagine the smell, you can just straight up see the smell, but they kill you. They straight up kill you. So do not mess with any of the carnivorous monster girls, unless no, not even unless. Just straight up, don't even mess with those. Ah, okay, I think that is all the time that we have for today. I do have time for questions before they're probably gonna come in and arrest me right now, even for even suggesting some things here. It's fine. I can answer questions. So like I said before, on the exam, what is going to be covered is everything that I talked about today, everything that's up on the slides that are posted online. You don't have to worry about everything or anything that I didn't cover that's in the textbook. So within the textbook, there is this ministry. What was it? The Ministry of Educational Advancement for the Society of Monster Girls or something like that. I decided to skip that chapter because you don't need to know that. It's all propaganda. You don't worry about that one. Okay, so we do have one question. Would a ship girl be considered a monster girl? No, that's something else entirely. They are not. They don't have a biological basis. See, that's another thing. That's another thing that they've been covering up is recently there's been a lot of how do I put this? A lot of non-biological entities, should I say? So you have ship girls, and you also have sword girls, and you have machine girls, but I believe this is a mockery of nature, and I don't think they have any actual origins that are not outside of some kind of weird experimentation. See, that's another thing. I'm pretty sure that what's it called, the ministry or whatever. The ministry is responsible for these abominations. Well, maybe I shouldn't call them abominations because I guess at one point we can probably coexist with them too. Gun Girls, yeah, Gun Girls too is well, actually I think Gun Girls might be different actually. So those are more from the DARPA branch of the government actually. So I think the DARPA branch is responsible for the Gun Girls because those are androids or not androids. I'm sorry. That's very old fashioned of me. Gynoids. Gynoids is what they're called now, not androids because andro means man, right? So gyno for woman. Gynoids is what they're called now. That's what they want us to call them. Okay, what would it be classified as then? I'm not entirely sure actually, just because that's one of the things that is not really very well studied. There is a lot of see within this field, this is just like one subclassification of anthropomorphication, right? So there isn't a whole lot of study on those individuals that are outside of biological makeup, I guess. Just because a lot of the new ones that are coming up, the ship girls, the gun girls, or whatever else it's called, those are all new. Those are all within the past, what was it? Not even past century, but rather within the past 20 years. These are very, very new, and there's a lot of research going into them. I'm not entirely sure of that side because my training is in biology. I have my degree in biology, so this is what I chose to dedicate my path to is teaching everyone about the wonders of monster girls, I guess. Okay, let me take another drink. So, like I said before, oh yeah, I covered what's on the test. So, the test is on Thursday. The assignment is due on Friday for that exam. And as a reminder, your end of the semester project, that planning is going to be coming up next week, I believe. You can check the syllabus. You can always check the syllabus if you're unsure about something, but this is all in the syllabus as well. But I'm just kind of reminding you right now that your exam is on Thursday, your assignment is on Friday, and the first part, the outline rather, I should say, the outline for your group presentation or group project rather, I should say, is next week. The group project, that's the week after that. The group project is where you work together as a class, or not as a class, as a group, and you decide what you want to do for your end of the semester project. So this includes researching the monster girl that you're interested in, and essentially going out and see if just learning about them more. That's your final project that's coming up. Okay, so it is. What time is it? We are at. Oh, yeah, we're right at the end here. So I'm actually surprised that no one contacted me. Now that I maybe I think maybe. Hold on, let me check my phone. Nothing. Oh, I, it, oh my God! It's just they're calling me. Wait, they know. They got me. Oh, okay, so this is my burner phone. It's going off. I need to. Hold on. Damn it. Damn it, they got me. Okay, if okay, class adjourned. Class adjourned.